Okay, let's pick it up again with question number 14. This is another question that asks you to show work. You have 3 minus 4i on the top. You have 8 minus 6i on the bottom. 6i is a radical. That I is the square root of -1. So to get rid of a radical on the bottom, you multiply the bottom and the top by the conjugate. So if it says 8 minus 6i, you multiply by 8 plus 6i. On the top, we're going to double distribute. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 6i is 18i. Negative 4i times 8 is negative 32i. Negative 4i times positive 6i is negative 24i squared. And I'm just going to take this negative 24i squared and rewrite that as a positive 24, because negative 24 times negative 1 is positive 24. So if I combine my like terms here, I've got 24 plus 24, that's 48, and 18i minus 32i. So 18 minus 32 is negative 14, so minus 14i. On the bottom, we also have to double distribute. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 6i is 48i. Negative 6i times 8 is negative 48i. Negative 6i times positive 6i. Negative times positive is negative. The 6's make 36, and the i's make I squared. Negative 36i squared is really a positive 36, because negative 36 times negative 1 is positive 36. The two middle terms will cancel, so on the bottom we just have 64 plus 36, which is 100. The system will count this answer as correct, so I will count 48 minus 14i over 100 as a correct answer. But some of you might notice that if you look at the whole real number pieces of this, those are all even numbers. So 48 divided by 2 is 24. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 100 divided by 2 is 50. This is technically the most correct answer, but again, I will accept either answer on this test. Whichever answer you choose to put in, make sure you hit the fraction button first. I'm going to type in 24 minus 7i, and then on the bottom, 50. But it would also take 48 minus 14i over 100. And then our final problem. What you really need to remember here is that if you take the exponent divided by 4, you're going to get something point something. If you get 0.25, 0.25 indicates that that's like the remainder. That means that enough i's would cancel out. You'd be left with an answer of I. If your decimal is 0.5, you're going to be left with an answer of -1. If your answer has a 0.75, our answer is -I. And if it's 0.0, if there's no decimal, it's going to be 1. So for each of these, I to the 60th, we take 60 divided by 4. 60 divided by 4 is 15. 15.0, that means our answer for that one is 1. We do 50 divided by 4, and we get 12.5. 0.5 tells us our answer is -1. And then 15 divided by 4 is 3.75. 0.75 tells us our answer is going to be -I. And this keypad doesn't have any numbers on it. It just has symbols. So you can use the minus sign there, but you can just type it into your keyboard. If you want more detail about why this simplifies in this way, go back to the video that includes this. I think it's 9.6 part 2. That will give you more information about why. But as far as for taking the test, when you're simplifying I to the whatever, take your exponent divided by 4 and then look at the decimal that you get and compare that decimal to this chart, and that will tell you what your simplified answer is going to be. All right, before you submit, make sure you've answered all of the questions. It does say you're going to have to show work. On the review, not so much, but on the test, you do have to show your work on at least those 7 problems. Make sure when you're done, when you've submitted this test, when you're actually taking the test, not the review, but when you have submitted the test, make sure you go back to Schoology, find the test in Schoology, and submit a picture of your work. Excellent.